Okay, this video is going to walk you through the steps of uh, using the templates and then importing a sketch or a reference image and using that as you create your 3D design. So make sure you're logged in with your landing pad account. I'm going to go to templates first, and I'm going to choose a car chassis. If you want to do a shoe, you could do that. If you wanted a motorcycle or headphones or some other type of clothing, but I'm going to choose a car chassis. Okay, so one of the things you'll notice is your background, and this is sort of really white, and maybe I want to change that. Let me show you how you can change your background. This blue button on your left-hand controller is really important with the 3 stripes. That's known as the options button. So we'll be using that a lot. I click options, and up here with the little silhouette, I click workspace with my right-hand controller, and I'll choose this one. And now, like I don't know, it gives me a little sense of where I am. So that's good. If I want to hide those options that I just created, I hit the options button again with my left thumb, and it goes away. So I notice that this chassis feels like it's kind of out of reach. To move yourself and objects, if I use my left grab trigger, that's the middle finger here, and I'm holding it down, I'm just pulling it towards me, so that makes it easier to reach. That looks good. Okay, so now I want to show you how you could import an image from your landing pad account to use while you're drawing. So again, options button on my left-hand controller, which is right here, and there's a button here that says import, and this is whatever your name is. That's going to be your workspace on landing pad. You click that. This is assuming, and I'll show in a different video, or I'll share a video how you can actually get the reference image into your landing pad account. I think I have it under reference models, and you can see it right here. This is something I grabbed from the internet. So to bring it in, what I recommend, because they say click to import or grab. Grab is much better in my experience. So I'm going to use my right hand controller as I grab it, and I hold my middle finger down, and I bring it in. And you'll notice I bring it in, it's coming in pretty small, but I'll show you how to make it bigger. Okay, hide my menu. So one thing I'll point out is this issue of layers. I'll press my options button again. Here's the layers, I'm clicking there. This new thing I brought in is on its own layer, which is good, but I want to give it a better name, so I'll call that ref space image, and then I will use a check mark. So there we go. So now I want to make this about the same size as the chassis. So let's see how we can do that. And this can be a little tricky, I've found. So I'm going to grab it with my middle finger, and then there's this anchor. I'll choose that, press down, press and hold for precise that. And then I want to, the tricky thing is to try to grab, as I'm doing here, as long as there's no numbers showing, then I'm good. Using both hand controllers, and I'm stretching it out, so it's going to eventually be about the right size. If I do this, actually it's working nicely for me, but if you ever see like that, that's not going to work, because if you see the numbers, that means you're scaling up everything, and so it's not really going to help you. But you want to make sure just getting this image, and you're just scaling that up to match. Okay, I'm going to bring it over close to or I could bring that towards me, and this, let's see, I need to make it a little bit bigger. Grab it with both hands, stretch it out. Okay, now I'll bring it back. That's pretty good. Okay, let's say that's what I want. So let me show you a really important thing is I want to make this transparent so I can actually see the chassis and everything through it. So I'll show you how to do that. So again, it has to do with layers. I press my options button. Here's the reference image, and you'll see this little circle, I can change the visibility. I click and I drag it. Ooh, look at that. Now I can see something that I can trace over, but I can also see the actual car behind it. Let me just pull this out a little bit. Okay, so maybe I'm just about ready to do my sort of sketching. All right, so I'm going to, let's make another layer for what I'm going to draw. And I'll just call this draw one, because maybe I'll have multiple layers. Check. Okay, so everything I draw is going to be on its own layer. Okay, so now we get into drawing, and there's a couple important things to notice, or just the settings to set first. I'm going to go to settings here. Actually, maybe I should be going first into drawing tools and sketching aid. So I click this, but I have to click this too up here. And we are going to use mirror style. It's not on by default, but what that means is everything I draw on one side of the car is going to be duplicated on the other side, which is nice. So I click there. And then there's another setting, which I will get to if I can remember where to get to it. It has to do with putting everything on a certain plane. Let me see if I can find that. I go here, I'm going to use point, but if I choose my options menu here, sorry, let's get back into point style. So I pressed it, and I want to choose planar. What that means is that everything I draw will be on the same plane, which is going to come in handy. In fact, it seems to want to put it on that plane over there. Well, let's turn that off for now. I got to figure out better how that works. It's not essential. So let's say I want to start drawing. Remember, for my I guess let me see if I could. Well, never mind. I can change with my sort of joystick how thick or big that line is I'm going to draw. I'm going to do it like that, but I also want to probably choose, I'm going to hide this by pressing the options button again. I probably want to choose another color. So my left hand got the color wheel. So here I can choose both the color and the material. Maybe I'll choose, I don't know, gloss, see what that's like. So I'm ready to draw. So, and actually I recommend this thing. There's custom ink, custom stroke with points on it. I'll explain why that's helpful. It can come in handy when you're trying to edit later. So I'll hide that. And I'll draw. And when you're in point mode, so I'll press my index finger down. Wherever you let up, you press. Let up again, press. And nice. You don't have to be in this mode, but I kind of like it because it gives a. All right, you get the idea. So, oh yeah, when you want to finish this, you double press your index finger for now. So remember I talked about mirror mode. So I can always take my left trigger, grab trigger, and rotate things around what I'm drawing. This is anchored, I guess, my reference image, but so that's maybe not the best time to use it, but at least I can see that, the, let's see, that's pretty good. The sort of symmetrical thing happening on the other side. I'll go back into drawing some more. Let's see here. And like that. You get the idea. So it's already starting to look pretty cool, like a car. So I'm going to double click there. remember I said the point mode allows you to kind of, edit a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. I'll try at least. I'm gonna grab something like this and then choose. Let's see. Maybe I just want to. Okay. We'll work on that later to edit it. But so this is a good start, so that you guys can sort of figure out the rest. The next thing we'll learn how to do is to create some surfaces. But right now we're just going to focus on the sketching the outline. Okay. Oh, it's important to save. So you press your options button again on the left here, and then I'll press save. Got to give this a name, and we'll call that cool car. A cool car, even. And another thing in the save mode, you'll notice you have this option to take a screenshot. Why don't I just do that? What the heck? So maybe you can share that with me, because I don't have to get a bunch of files, but I'll get it. So take a screenshot. And I guess you got to do, oh, I see. As I move my left hand around, I can decide like what I want to include in this screenshot. It's interesting how that plane is sort of, I guess I could hide that, but for now, I'll just take a screenshot. And that will probably end up in your landing pad. Okay, so I'm going to quit for now, and we'll move on to surfaces later. Just a minute.